A lot has been said about all kinds of ridiculous statements that have been made about science. I'm not going to focus on that. Although I think the one that was missed about how the cow exhales oxygen and how it absorbs radiation as well. So there's a lot many things that cows can do that we didn't know about. But the point is that people holding positions of responsibility come and make these statements. The question to ask is, why do they think that they can get away with it? Why is it that there is no deterrent for them to be able to make these statements? And that brings us to the point about the fact that there is something that I would call everyday obscurantism. It is there all around us. We see it, we make jokes about some of these very extremely ridiculous statements. We make memes and pass them around on social media. But we very often let go of the obscurantism that we see around us on a daily basis. पिताजी माता पिता बोलते हैं बच्चे को कि सूर्य ग्रहण है, बाहर मत जाओ, घर से बाहर मत निकलो. ये हमारे आजू बाजू बहुत देखा होगा, सबने देखा होगा. आजकल घर बांधना है, घर खरीदना है, घर किराए पे लेना है तो वास्तु देखी जाती है. हॉरोस्कोप्स are very important nowadays. I teach in an institute and you overhear students talking about, especially in the first semester, introducing each other. And nowadays, part of the introduction is, hi, I'm so and so, and by the way, I'm Sagittarian. And by the way, So horoscopes have become extremely important. This is obscurantism and we don't call it out on a daily basis. There is also something a tad lower, maybe a bit lower than this as well, more personal. It all parades around as personal choice also. Wearing a white thread around your torso, it's personal choice. It is, I don't know what it is supposed to achieve doing that. But that is very much part of what we see around us. You have, for example, all kinds of elaborate weddings filled with rituals to the brim. Nowadays it's become even more, and in cities like Mumbai and Pune there is this new trend that you have the full wedding and all of the rituals in it. However, the what is it, Mangalashtaka, they are basically recited by women who are brought in from Jnana Prabodhini or some place like that. So it is progressive obscurantism as well that is all around us. So it is, you have all of this around you and we don't question it. We let it go. And sometimes it is, मैं नहीं मानता लेकिन माता पिता को चाहिए तो मैं क्या करूँ? We have to do it. I don't believe in it, but it will hurt my parents if I don't do this. And this is all there all the time around us, and it provides the grounds for all kinds of ridiculous statements then on science that suddenly when they hit us in the face, we wonder, how is it that he can say this? He can say this because all kinds of other things go on around you all the time anyway, and we don't question them. Because also, one of the things that we are scared of, I think, is questioning some of these things on a daily basis would require an uncompromising embracing of modernity. And we are scared of doing this in this country because we are scared of rejecting the past. There is a strange reverence to the past that we have. We are not quite sure. We don't want to let go of it completely. It exists in extreme proportions in people like our Prime Minister, who glorify it to all kinds of, Pushpak Viman, etc. All of it is part of it. Also, things like on climate change, I don't know if you all have heard, but he's made a statement saying climate change is not actually happening. It is simply a state of mind. We are not actually it is not becoming warmer, but we have just become less tolerant. So our ancestors also faced climate variability. However, they managed it because they were much stronger. It exists, this glorification, this reverence of the past exists in extreme proportions, and of course definitely the Sangh Parivar, but it exists all around us as well. All of us have met this uncle who would say, अरे हमारे बाप दादा के ज़माने में लोग ज़्यादा scientific थे. तब पोल्यूशन कम था, अब पोल्यूशन ज़्यादा है. तब कैंसर नहीं होता था, अब कैंसर होता है लोगों को. हाँ, वहाँ पे तभी औरतें ज़्यादा ताकतवर थी. 10-10 बच्चे होते थे, फिर भी 20 लोगों का खाना एक दिन में बनाती थी लोगों के लिए, बिना फ्रिज के, बिना मिक्सर के, बिना स्लाइसर के. I'm sure you all have met people who said this, and of course we, a lot of times let it go without pointing out that most probably a lot of our ancestors probably died at the age of 40, didn't live long enough to get cancer. And not only that, the fact that this very past is ridden with caste, it is ridden with patriarchy, with extreme levels of scarcity, deprivation, inhumanity and exploitation. It is this same past. And we are unwilling to let go of it. And this is what provides the ground for this kind of, these kind of statements, this kind of attack that comes from Hindutva. If we want to build a new society that is more equal, okay, that in which there is no deprivation, in which everybody, has a certain level of well-being, when we want to build this modern society, then we have to reject this unseemly past. If we stop to question, as science asks us to, then we will reject this unseemly past. And this is, I think, the root at the root of this RSS attack on Hindutva. They are not really, their final target is not really technology. After all, they like the bomb very much. They might say, for example, that Newton mat padhao school में, क्योंकि Newton foreigner था, वो बच्चों को Newton नहीं पढ़ाएंगे. लेकिन अहमदाबाद से दिल्ली प्लेन में बैठ के जाते हैं. So it's not as if, they reject technology. But however, that attack on the scientific method is necessary for them, because what they really want to attack is a scientific study of society. Because the minute you have a scientific study of society, you have questions that they don't want to face. Science is much more, has been for many, many years, much more than simply about observation and documentation of observation. It is not simply enough to see how things appear, but also why they appear as they do. And the minute you ask the question of why things appear the way they do in the context of society, you suddenly will have women, questioning, why is it that we should stay at home while the men go out and earn and study? Okay? You can no longer tell people that you're born poor because yaar tumhari kismat, bad karma hai, iske wajah se you're born poor. You can no longer tell somebody that it is some past sins of your life because of which you're born in a lower caste. And I think in that context, I want to also make another point, is that attack on society doesn't just come from the right. Part of the ground for this attack has also been because we have provided that ground. In a lot of otherwise, people who would otherwise not associate with the right wing, definitely, progressive, liberal movements, we see a lot of science skepticism about technology. And unfortunately, this fight against globalization, fight against global capital, has somehow, somewhere seamlessly sort of transcended and transformed into a fight against modernity, into a fight against modern science, a fight against technology. Technology as being inherently anti-poor. Science as being inherently anti-poor. Science as inherently patriarchal, anti-women. All of these positions are not necessarily always only coming from the Sangh Parivar. They exist even otherwise. And these are dangerous positions to have. They provide the ground for this rise. And it is not simply, is it our inability to fight capitalism? Is it our inability to fight globalization that we've sort of said that science and technology are proxies basically for these, and therefore it is easier to fight them than to fight globalization, than to fight capitalism. If we want to fight inequality, then I think one of the first demands should be that we take back that science. That science is ours. It does not belong to the multinationals. The fight is against multinationals. The science does not belong to them. We have to take back that science. We have to fight for access to scientific institutions. Take back the technology that has been created by the labor of the working class in the first place. It is not technology that belongs to these people. So it is not science and technology per se that we must be fighting. And we should remember this distinction, because this skepticism of science and technology, I think, along with our everyday obscurantism, has also provided the ground for this kind of an attack from the Sangh Parivar. I want to end with a tribute to, or remembering that young man whose death 2 years ago moved a lot of us. Rohit Vemula was, his loss was not just a loss for the student community or, the fight against caste discrimination. His death was a loss to the scientific community as well. Because he got the point. He was inspired by Dr. Ambedkar, that unrelenting, uncompromising, untiring advocate of modernity. He's one of the few who was like that in this country, and Rohit was inspired by him, and he wanted to be like Carl Sagan. He wanted to take science to the people, to bring light into the darkness that is the everyday life of so many people around us. And that is why they don't want Rohits, and that is why more Rohits must emerge